Good afternoon, everyone. We're on the beautiful Sunshine Coast in the hinterland at Buderim, home of the Sunshine Coast Wanderers, as they take on Ipswich Knights in this Football Queensland Premier League Round 9 encounter. Rafe Griffin with you on hand from Bellinger Park as we see the match officials and the two teams come out onto the field to a hearty round of applause from the crowd on hand. Not too bad conditions. The pitch a little bit wet underfoot with all the rain we've had in southeast Queensland and right across Queensland in the past fortnight or so. A couple of showers on the drive up from Brisbane this afternoon. Some of those rain spots around Landsborough, etc. But bit cloudy, but perfect conditions really for football this afternoon as we see the two teams line up. We'll go through the respective lineups in just a moment, but first we're going to take a pause for a moment's silence in memory of under-17 NPLW player Jade Dixon. Thoughts go out to the Dixon family. Jade Dixon was a under-17 NPLW player here at the Sunshine Coast Wanderers. Also played at Woomba. I know that loss has been heavily felt across the whole of the Sunshine Coast football community. On behalf of Football Queensland and the whole football family, pass our condolences to the Dixon family. Bit of a silver lining, though, in the Commonwealth Games over the weekend with her cousin Tia Claire Tooney winning gold in the weightlifting, bringing a bit of brightness into the family's life. And I know that the loss of Jade was a massive part in Tia Claire's performance in the weightlifting to win the gold medal there a couple of days ago on the Gold Coast. So the two captains out there with the match officials. Let's take you through the two team lineups for this afternoon's match. Well, for the Sunshine Coast Wanderers, James Verdon is a late inclusion in the squad after Ray Schultz was ruled out through illness. Jeremy Stewart makes his way back to Sunshine Coast football after a stint in recent years at the Brisbane Strikers and sits on the bench this afternoon. Matt Chandler's squad for this afternoon is in goal: Denver Crickmore, 2 Joel Quacko, 3 Nick Arden, 4 Michael Scarf, 6 James Intignap, 7 Carl Von Hoff, 8 James Verdon, 9 Glenn Standen, 10 Leon Dwyer, 11 Jeremy Stewart, 12 Kobe Fuller, 13 Ben Lynch, 14 Brandon Lee, 15 Tyler Walkinshaw, 16 Josh Forshey, and the reserve keeper is Josh Wall. For the Ipswich Knights this afternoon, playing in that blue and red strip, the away strip, bit of a throwback back to the Coal Star days. And Mick Matthews, the incoming Ipswich Knights coach, has brought in some enforcements as we're about to get the match underway. Sam Watt and David Macklott from the Gap and Southside Eagles respectively have been recruited into the Ipswich Knights setup. Just wait for kickoff and take you through their squad, and we're underway with the Sunshine Coast Wanderers versus Ipswich Knights. Round 9 of the Football Queensland Premier League from Bellinger Park in Buderim. And an early goal kick for the Knights. That will be taken by their keeper, Declan Murphy. In 3 is Dan Kleinhans, 4 Lincoln Rule, 5 Dale Robinson, 6 Matt White, 8 is James Exxon Taylor, 9 Sam Watt, 10 Nohom Waldu, 12 Emmanuel Peter, 13 Devon Munn, 14 Robbie Baker, 17 David Macklot, 18 Matt Drummond, 19 Reece Phipps, and 20 is the reserve keeper in Chris Parsons. And as I said before, their coach is Mick Matthews. So who do you think will win? Have your say and vote on Football Queensland's Instagram poll, and make sure you follow us for a behind-the-scenes look at this afternoon's game. That's Instagram at FootballQLD. So corner for the Ipswich Knights. Early doors here on the Sunshine Coast. In comes the corner, in towards the near post, intercepted there by the Wanderers player. It's there for Rule. And now Macklot, as I said before, newly recruited from Southside Eagles, their counterpart club in the Football Queensland Premier League. And the whistle's being blown. Free kick going the Knights' way. Taken quickly by the Knights. Attempted win by Nteknap for the Wanderers. It comes up successfully. Referee finds the whistle once more, this time going the Wanderers' way. One game played in the NPL earlier this afternoon, also on the Sunshine Coast, not too far away at the Sunshine Coast Stadium. And unfortunately, the hapless season for the Sunshine Coast Fire continues in the NPL. Not as bad as it's been in recent weeks, though. Moreton Bay making the trip up the M1. They came away with a 3-1 victory against the Fire. We were reduced to 10 men late in that game. Touchback by Fuller, straight to the path of the Knights player, though, who attempted to link up with Emmanuel Peter on this right-hand side. And evidence of the heavy nature of the pitch, that ball not taking quite a while to cross the sideline. That ball high. Contest there. Won by Watt. Peter with the defensive work on Verdon. Turns into a cul-de-sac back for Dwyer. And it's for Verdon once more. Certainly playing a bit of a pressing game. The Ipswich Knights. It's coming up trumps at the moment. Watt wins the ball for Peter. Ball through the channel. Watt again. Inside the box this time. Into the backside of Forshee. It's looking like a long throw and into the box will be. In fact, it's a corner. It was going to be a throw-in, but it's across the byline. Exxon Taylor over to take this one. And it comes in towards the near post once again. Cut out by Dwyer. Lynch with speed trying to win the ball. Wanderers lose out. Exxon Taylor. Waldu. Attempted the cross, cut out by Forshee. It'll be another corner here for the visitors. Macklot's going to provide an option short. They look to take it quickly, do the Knights, and it comes for Macklot. Drifts one towards the back post. Free man there for Ipswich Knights. Lofts it high. And they're looking for another decision. It will be a corner. Early pressure coming on the Wanderers' defence so far. The Knights have come out very keen and willing. Once again, looking to take it quickly. Macklot providing the option short. Lynch goes to cover it. Corner swung in. It was Peter there waiting at the near post. There's a crowded box. And goal kick will be the final results. So the Wanderers had to withstand some early pressure. And that goal kick will be relieving for them. Well, coming into this match, Sunshine Coast Wanderers were second on the competition table, currently undefeated in 6 matches with 5 wins and a draw. We saw that draw on the live stream back in their debut at Terrelba Park in round 2, where they came from 3-1 behind to clinch a 3-all draw against Mitchelton. Really haven't looked back since that stage with 5 consecutive wins in the FQPL, looking for their 4th consecutive home win here at Ballinger Park today. Scarf it was. Now in Tinknap. Good ball forward. I think that's Quacko going forward. And Murphy didn't have to get a hand to it in the end. But the tall, lanky Joel Quacko has got pretty much free rein down that right wing as a right wing back. Lurking up from defence. Was a dangerous weapon for Buderim last year, scoring a number of goals in the Sunshine Coast Premier League. He'll be one to look out for this afternoon. Ipswich Knights 11th on the table. Just the 2 wins from 7 games that they've played, including a 5-loss winning streak across all competitions, including a 3-0 loss to South United in the FFA Cup in midweek. Yet to score a goal in those 5 game losing streak, I should say. Mick Matthews will be looking for their new recruit, Sam Watt, to spark their attack this afternoon. Here's Lynch. Very dangerous in that live stream game we saw against Mitchelton. Gets the return ball back from Fuller. Here's Lynch trying to angle it, squeeze it in there at the near post between the keeper and the post. And not a bad result for the Wanderers in the end with a corner. To be taken by Dwyer. Plenty of height for the Wanderers inside the box. In comes the ball, knotted on by Quacko. Over the target though. Provides a focal point up front in those situations. Joel Quacko. Must be about 6'4", 6'5" in the old money. As I said earlier, Ipswich Knights bringing in some reinforcements over the Easter break to try and bolster and strengthen their squad after the departure of Denny McHenry and Mick Matthews coming into the head coaching role. Mick Matthews has had previous experience in the Flight Centre Brisbane Premier League with Taringa Rovers and Mount Gravatt, amongst the clubs he's coached out in that competition. Here's Lynch getting towards the edge of the box. Just forward just a bit wide to the left than what he was hoping. He poked the ball through, trying to find Tinknap. Here's Quacko again. Dwyer. And Tinknap. Quacko gives the ball away. Won again by the Wanderers, desperate. Lynch. Here's Fuller. Comes to the keeper in Murphy. He's been a bright spot in the Ipswich Knights lineup. Sam Watt from the Gap, David Macklott from Southside Eagles, and Hayden James from Mount Gravatt come into the figuring for Ipswich Knights with the signings made by the club over the Easter break. He's looking more for improvement at this stage rather than results. Would be encouraged by the result prior to the Easter break, where the runaway league leaders, Peninsula Power, travelled out to Ipswich. Peninsula could only rack up a 1-0 win against the Knights. Always a tricky proposition out at Bundamba on a Sunday afternoon, and Power encountered that firsthand a couple of weeks ago. Lynch chested down by Verdon. Lynch again. And Verdon. They're playing the keeper. Playing in a bit of a triangle at the moment. Dwyer. Now for Walkinshaw. Quacko. Just not looking at the right time with Scarf, anticipating the pass coming through. Knights in possession. Watt. Free man out on the right is the South Sudanese international, Emmanuel Peter. Looping around on the right is Baker. Comes more in towards the centre of the park. And that's Waldo out on that left-hand side across the face of goal. No danger for Crickmore that time round. Verdon for Dwyer. Verdon sends it long this time. Only to an Ipswich Knights player, the skipper, Dale Robinson. Klein, in fact that's Munn. Back for his keeper in Murphy. Robinson, Lynch putting on the pressure. Matt Chandler, the Sunshine Coast Wanderers coach, urging his side to be Les Lazy. Wanted more pressure on the Knights' defence. Again Lynch in there to pressure. Fuller up against Murphy, who gets the clear clearance away. Verdon and Peter in the contest. Here's Forshey, distinctive with that ponytail. Walkinshaw. Verdon for the Wanderers. Peter comes to him. It's like a very slim line, Emmanuel Peter at the moment. Now Lynch to the byline, cuts it back. Looking for Fuller. Here's Peter. Intercepted well by Scarf. Shot on goal by Lynch. Falls wide of the target. The Sunshine Coast Wanderers captain Nick Arden said that his side can no longer hide as the underdogs anymore, sitting second on the table. They've been playing well, sticking to a game plan. Now on, it's up to the team as to how far they can go in this competition now. And you'd have to suggest that at the moment, they could be going quite a way. Undefeated alongside Peninsula Power. Eagerly waiting that round 13 clash in what could be a top of the table meeting. And from memory, I think it is here at Bellinger Park. Power v the Wanderers. Power who survived a bit of a scare last night, coming up with an injury time winner against South. A bit of a goal fest at AJ Kelly. Power coming away 4-3 winners to keep that perfect record intact in the FQPL. And again, Matt Chandler urging the pressure on his side to not allow the Knights any space in trying to get out of their defence. It'll be Crickmore. He's put the cap on. That afternoon sun must be a bit worrying to him. As you look at the camera, sort of setting over towards 10 or 11 o'clock. So he's sort of looking it right in the face. Meanwhile, Dwyer, a free man. Here's Peter. Holds up the ball momentarily. That early game momentum that the Knights had seems to have evaporated somewhat, with the Wanderers now slowly starting to find their feet. Was there a free kick there by Verdon against Peter? Yes, says the referee. Free kick to the Knights around about 10 yards in their defensive territory. 0-0 if you have just joined us at Ballinger Park for this FQPL Sunday afternoon football live stream. 15 minutes gone. Robinson. Switch on the left for the Knights. Waldo. That's Munn. Perfectly picks out Baker. Just slipping at the inopportune time was Watt and throws his hands to the ground. Sam Watt also had time with Capella Bar in the Flight Centre Brisbane Premier League. 21-year-old. Sean Matt Chandler. Here's Lynch, and he would have been offside anyway with the through ball coming through from Walkingshaw. I'm sure Matt Chandler would have had close eyes on Sam Watton. Knows exactly what he's about. Having played at Capella Bar, and Matt Chandler being in close proximity at Redlands. Might be one that Matt Chandler has told his defence to keep an eye on this afternoon. Flag goes up at the opposite end this time. So I mentioned that Peninsula Power late to the rescue last night against South. The other results from the FQPL last night. Firstly, Rochedale Rovers have the bye this weekend. And Wolves notched up their consecutive win after defeating East pre-Easter. A tight 1-0 victory against Southside Eagles by the Woodham-based team last night. Also a tight match between Logan Lightning and Capella Bar. Lightning through Xander Guy, 1-0 winners. Upsetting Capella Bar's run. Two other games played last night. Mitchelton comfortable 5-0 winners against the Wide Bay Buccaneers. And another hapless night at the office for Holland Park Hawks, who of course lost to the Flight Centre Brisbane Premier League centenary in midweek in the FFA Cup, conceding 7 goals. We saw them concede 7 goals pre-Easter on the live stream against Capella Bar, and again last night they've conceded another 7 to close rivals Eastern Suburbs. Eastern Suburbs, the Tigers coming away 7-2 winners against Holland Park. And East win the Don Mackey Shield. Don Mackey Shield instituted last year. As a president at both clubs, life member at both clubs. Played in his memory. And just looking at the team sheet from last night, I think there might have already been a change made at Holland Park after that horrendous loss pre-Easter. It looked like Joe Fennick was named as coach on the team sheet, so maybe Fernando Garcia has departed the coaching scene at the Hawks. We'll keep an eye on that during the week, see whether there has been a change in coach. It did look like in that game against Capella Bar there were some discontent in the dressing room. Maybe that has forced the Hawks to take some action. Dwyer in between two Knights defenders. Scarf chips in. Here's the skipper, Nick Arden, in the 3. Walkingshaw. Van Ticknap. Searching for it is Fuller. Waldo there for the Knights. One by Ticknap once more for the Wanderers. Oh, good through ball. Quacko anticipating well. Freeman is Scarf. He's forced to chase a little bit further than what he would really like on that left-hand side of the penalty box. Straight into the feet of the Knights player. Verdon. Dwyer. Verdon again. Here's Dwyer. Forshey. Scarf. Forshey again. Lynch. Getting his foot in there decisively was Peter. Forshey They're building up here, the Wanderers. Can they make this pressure tell? Free kick right outside the box as the Knights player bundled over the Wanderer. Referee having a chat to Devon Munn. It's a dangerous opportunity here for the Wanderers from about 22 yards out. Looks like it'll be Siaf stepping up to take this free kick. Knights retreating the bare 10 yards, restricting the space that the Wanderers will have to operate in. Declan Murphy setting his wall. He's content. Looks like 4 in it for the Knights. Scarf over this free kick. Waiting to signal the referee. Here comes Scarf's efforts. Trying to curl it into the top left corner. Unsuccessful on that occasion. And the ball is drifted into the long grass behind the goal. Hope you're enjoying our Sunday afternoon coverage. Quite a nice drive up the M1 this afternoon. And more thankfully, it looked not too busy on the way back, so might have a clear run, which is unusual coming back from the Sunshine Coast on a Sunday afternoon. Baker. Peter. Here's Maclott. Clump of yellow shirts immediately streaming to him. Once again, Phil Davis dominating the comments on the Facebook live stream this afternoon, trying to get a team out of all the commenters on here. Looks like a number of players from around the various leagues tuning in this afternoon. Pretty sure Phil tipped the Wanderers to take this one. Scarf. Inch was the target. Verdon chases it down. Verdon continues after the initial tackle. Maclott with the clearance straight to Forshey though. And deemed illegal. Forshey's challenge against the Knights player in what? And those of you on Instagram this afternoon deciding that Sunshine Coast Wanderers will most likely be the victors this afternoon. 75-25 on the Insta poll, going the Wanderers' way. No score yet though. Walkingshaw. Quacko. And Ticknap quickly on for Quacko once more, who looped down the right-hand side with that run. Maclott. Good win by the Wanderers. Square for Dwyer. Scarf. Now Verdon. Scarf again. Plenty numbers getting behind the ball for the Knights. Nodded away by Munn. Waldo, who's come deep to help out in defence. Turns it straight over to the opposite number 10, though, in Dwyer. Fuller. The skipper, Arden. Lynch. And just couldn't quite connect with Dwyer. Right intent. Didn't come off, and the number of blue and red shirts didn't help the situation either. Cleared away by Murphy. Dwyer. Walkinshaw. Certainly would be leading the possession stats, you'd think, at the moment, the Wanderers. Just unable to make anything of it so far. Will that Knights defensive unit eventually crack? Verdon. Lynch attempting to chase it down. The skipper for the Knights. Robinson first to it, though. Let's see if we can bring you some stats. Here's Verdon. Trying to use his skills to evade Peter. Free kick is taken. And getting to it high was Murphy. That's what we're looking at the moment. 60% possession to the Wanderers, 40 to Ipswich Knights. Neither side with a shot on target, but the Wanderers with 4 off target, none to Ipswich. So a total of 4 shots at goal by the Wanderers to just none for Ipswich Knights. Squeeze there. Coming in from Scarf. Entiknap. Here's Lynch. Lynch at the edge of the box. Straight into Robinson, though, blocked the shot. Dwyer. Searching for it is Peter. Verdon, has he got a bit more pace? Peter wins that time round. Watt. Peter. The Knights looking to bring it out of their defensive territory. Macklot. Munn. Switch of play on the right for Watt. Plenty of yellow shirts there. Arriving on the scene is Baker. Baker ineffective. Pass in towards the box. As the Wanderers move into transition. I think Lynch has beaten the offside trap here. Murphy deep off his line. Had to be accurate because Lynch was on hand to take advantage if there was a mistake. Still alive for the Wanderers, though. Scarf with the quick touch on. Player screaming for a foul. The referee not having anything of it. Quacko. Quacko along the ground. Once again deflected as the Wanderers tried to deliver the cross in. Scarf brings it down. Entiknap. Quacko. And easy collect for Murphy, who looks to move play on quickly. Exxon Taylor. Up against his opposite number 8 in Verdon. And was fouled. And I think we're about to see the first caution of the afternoon coming James Verdon's way. So first caution for the Sunshine Coast Wanderers. With Verdon looking to stop the progress of James Exxon Taylor. Coming up to complete half an hour in this encounter. Still scoreless at Ballinger Park. Free kick taken short. Macklot and Exxon Taylor combining. Lynch was aware of the situation for the Wanderers. Attempted long throw into the box where Peter was waiting. Peter off the left peg in towards Waldo. And Intignap for Quacko. Loses out to Waldo. Macklot. Robinson. Miscue. It's going to turn out okay. Baker to mop up. Robinson. Searching ball forward. Peter didn't run. It's a Lincoln rule for the Knights. Getting a little bit more forward than what he's accustomed to. Certainly being played at a pretty quick tempo. Still in the mid to high 20s on the Sunshine Coast. Macklot comes away with it for White. Those two new signings for the Knights, very influential in this match so far. Waldo comes to his man in Quacko. Also helping out was Arden. Knights might be forced into a long-range shot. I think it was Exxon Taylor in there. There's a bit of period of play for the visitors. A breeze starts to stream in across Bellinger Park. Just a bit of composure needed from the Knights at the moment. Wanderers able to capitalise on that mistake. Verdon for Lynch. Oh, great through ball, but Fuller has just mistimed his run. Falling foul, the assistant on the far side. Speaking to the Wanderers coach, Matt Chandler, pre-game. As you'd expect, very happy with how his charges are going at the moment and really enjoying coaching on the Sunshine Coast. Telling me he's maintaining a little bit of a unit up here on the Sunshine Coast. A great place to live, enjoying the lifestyle, enjoying the coaching. After his mid-season departure from Redlands last year. Probably brought to success too in 2016 with that FFA Cup win against Adelaide United, and then going on to win the NPL Grand Final against the Heat that year. Here's Scarf. Scarf, can he compose himself? Looked to get around that defender, couldn't do so. Once again, there's numbers flooding back there for the Knights. There must be 8 inside the box. Touch on by Fuller. And Quacko looking to blaze it into the corner. Instead goes high and wide of the target. Come get the seconds was the call. Not needed by the Wanderers in the end. Here's Dwyer. Matt Chandler encouraging his squad. You can probably hear him in the effects mic. Verdon. 3 Knights defenders coming to him. And Baker will concede the corner. Can sense it sort of coming for the Wanderers. It's just a matter of how long this Knights defence can hold on. Plenty of defensive work. Coming in after the first 10 minutes when the Knights were the better side attacking-wise, but having to withstand quite a bit of pressure since that period. Lynch comes short. Instead, Dwyer more in towards the 6-yard box, attempted punch away by Murphy, who's scrambling on the ground at the moment. Out to the corner taker in Dwyer, and Quacko will be deemed to be offside. Not a bad crowd on hand. Ballinger Park on a Sunday afternoon. It's quite a nice day for football and spectating. I'm never the best at crowd estimates, but probably about 300 or so on that far side, maybe a tad more. Enjoying a little bit of Sunday afternoon football. As the Wanderers once again launch another effort. Lynch, almost an accidental header on by Fuller. The ball came quickly from Lynch. Had to use his instinct to react quickly. Blazed over the bar in the end though. See Matt Chandler just making some notes, perhaps using those as part of his half-time address to make some subtle changes for the second half. And again Murphy with this goal kick deep into the attack of his side. Struggling to get a foot on the ball was Watt. Surely the Wanderers, they've got to make all this pressure pay eventually. Lynch. Maclott. Wanderers certainly very physical on the ball as well. Quacko. Oh, not the best pass. Intercepted by Peter. Almost in slow motion at the moment, the Knights, as they look for numbers to come forward and help out. Muldoon swap sides. Hicks on Taylor. Maclott. Straight into the head of Fuller. Hacked away by Forshey. Decision will go the Wanderers' way. Not a bad little setup here at Ballinger Park. Dressing rooms off to the left, that rather large clubhouse right in the middle of the park on the other side. Another build-up from the Wanderers. Verdon. It will take a touch off Peter, and Murphy couldn't react quick enough to prevent the ball from crossing the byline. Yes, I was up here in September last year when the Football Brisbane select team took on the Sunshine Coast select teams. Good hospitality put in by the locals. Nick Meredith, current Fox Sports commentator, NSL player in the past. Side netting there for the Wanderers in another corner. Yeah, Nick Meredith's name appears on the Hall of Fame on the clubhouse. Sunshine Coast Junior. About 5 minutes to play. Over the head of Scarf. Walkinshaw reels it in. Will it bobble across the byline? It will. So another corner here for the Wanderers. Will it be third time lucky? Nine in the box for Ipswich Knights defending this corner. Almost slides past everyone. Murphy had to get it with the second grip. Quacko was waiting for the mistake. As Maclock booms this one long, and Crickmore hasn't had a touch for a while. So he's going to come outside his box and take a couple of touches with the feet before releasing it. Lynch comes to Murphy. Oh, it was a challenge for the ball. Oh, well, I know goalkeepers can be a protected species at times, but there was a fair contest for the ball, in my opinion at least. Both players playing for the ball. Anyway, the decision is going the Ipswich custodians' way. Peter doesn't throw in on that side for the Knights. As we tick up towards the half-time break, perhaps it might be the Knights that might surprise and break this deadlock before the break. Referee gives the signal not to take the free kick until the whistle's blown. This is the local Kookaburra. Also takes in this FQPL encounter. Here comes the free kick, driven in. Attempted punch away by Crickmore. Regains his feet over the head there by the Knights. Exxon Taylor from long range. An attempt. Looking for a decision from the referee, who shakes his head. Here's Fuller on the counter for the Wanderers. Anticknap. Quacko also arriving on the scene. There's plenty of yellow shirts floating forward. Attempted touch on by Fuller. They'll win it back again, the Wanderers. Walkinshaw with his back to goal though. Waldo putting the pressure on. Anticknap. Forshey. Scarf. Anticknap. Quacko. Defenders are flooded back for the Knights. Forshey tried to go a bit more direct. Peter sends it long. Watt out to chase it. Won by Arden. Although Watt gets the ball back. Between Baker and Forshey. Peter arriving on the scene. Hefty challenge. That Virgin comes the better off. Lynch. The flag is going to go up though. Tight call by the assistant. Referee's going to allow play to continue, though, with Murphy picking up the ball, and that is half-time. At Bellinger Park, nothing to report on in terms of goals. Plenty of pressure from the Sunshine Coast Wanderers after the Ipswich Knights had the better of the first 10 minutes in terms of attack. But despite having plenty of forays into the attacking third, Sunshine Coast Wanderers unable to make anything of it so far in terms of goals. And at the break, it's Sunshine Coast Wanderers 0, Ipswich Knights 0. So the players off to take a break. We'll be back in around about 15 minutes or so for the resumption of the second half. 0-0 at Bellinger Park.
Swear a lot at Total Tools. We swear by our range. We swear by our service. And of course, we swear by our prices. So you'll know that you're buying at the best price every day. Total Tools. Every tool.
So players and the match officials coming back out for the second half. The lights being turned on at Ballinger Park. No score to report on in this first half. Some running repairs being made to the net on the left-hand side. So we're about to get started once more. Will we see a goal? Or two or three maybe in this second half. All in readiness. We're back underway in this FQPL round 9 clash. Second half recommences. Sunshine Coast Wanderers 0, Ipswich Knights 0. Nine shots off target for the Wanderers in the first half. So despite having all the majority of the possession, particularly in the attacking areas, unable to convert that into anything in particular. In fairness, neither keeper really tested. We see a bit more of an open affair in this second 45 minutes. Crickmore with the long goal kick. Forshy for the Wanderers. Turnover of possession for Rule. All the way back to the other keeper in Murphy. Piling the pressure on was Fuller. A casual wander past the Wanderers' dressing room at half-time, and one of the words I heard coming from coach Matt Chandler was fear, don't fear the opposition. Play without fear. Perhaps indicating that the Wanderers may have been a bit tentative at times in attack. Another goal kick for Crickmore. Similar to the first attempt in the second half. Walking short for Forshy. And Tignap. Forward for Lynch. Trying to get the foot in with the skipper, Robinson. Quacko. Shot from the edge of the box from Scarf. And notch up another one off target for the Wanderers. So a series of goal kicks to open up this second half. Free header almost for Rule. Away by Arden. Baker for the Knights. Hassled by Lynch. Forces the turnover unfairly though, says the referee. Still one match around the grounds to be played later on this evening after the conclusion of this match. Coming up from Goodwin Park at 6 p.m. Olympic hosting Redlands in the NPL. Fuller. Entic-Nap. Called his name quite often this afternoon, and he's been upended by the opposing number 6 in white. So free kick just outside the box for the Wanderers. Olympic, another team looking to keep their unbeaten strike alive in the NPL. Yet to lose through the first 8 games. One midweek in the FFA Cup as well. Here's Dwyer over the wall in towards the back post. The tall, lanky Quacko might have just slid over his head on the way out for a goal kick. With a light-hearted exchange between Joel Quacko and the referee, and waiting for this goal kick to be taken. Into the attacking half of the Knights. Won by Forsey in the air though. Lynch, touch back. There's a crowd of players there. Managed to squeeze it through somehow. Did Lynch. Robinson trying to wrong foot his opponent. Peter couldn't get to it. Turned over to the Wanderers. Here's Arden. Walking short. Allowed a bit of free rein to bring it into the Wanderers attacking half. Getting down low with the header was that Knights player. Watt straight into Forsey, who was in close proximity. Kicks on Taylor. Spots Waldo on his left-hand side. Quacko trying to do the defensive work. Waldo wrong foots him. In for Waldo. The 1-2 for Watt and Waldo. And that's probably been the most promising attack that the Ipswich Knights have had in this game so far. Ball's crossed the sideline though. And they were encouraging signs for the Knights. Nahom Waldo and Sam Watt with a good combination there in the penalty box of Budrum, I should say. Make it Sunshine Coast Wanderers. Good work by Waldo. Gets the ball back again once more. He's looking very impressive early in this second half. Macklot. Now at the feet of Crickmore. In no rush to put this ball back into general play. Watt will advance and make him play the ball out though. Hefty header from Arden. Dwyer. Forsey. Forsey squeezed between 2 Ipswich Knights players. Watt alone. Peter. Here's Peter once more. He's been hacked down by Verdon, already sitting on a yellow card. Matt White taking some instructions on from the Ipswich Knights. This free kick taking an age to be taken. Peter at the edge of the box, chests it down. Defensive opponent was Arden, and diving to his left was Crickmore, who's been more in this action in the second half through the first 10 minutes or so than what he was in the whole of the 45 minutes of the first. Long clearance. Nodded on by Scarf. Fuller. Free man is Quacko. Waldo coming to him quickly. Quacko plays the ball between the 2 defenders. The third one in Munn, clears the ball away. Here's in Tinknap. Forshey. Quick ball on by Scarf in the direction of Lynch. Lynch at the corner of the 6-yard box. Murphy comes to it. Another save from the Ipswich Knights custodian. Dwyer. Through ball by Scarf. Quacko. And cleared away as the Knights defensive line comes under sustained attack there from the Wanderers. Quacko on a couple of occasions there trying to angle the ball in towards goal. And Murphy up to the test both those times. In Ticknap with the corner. Lofts it high. Sunshine Coast Wanderers looking to utilise that height that they have from the dead ball situation. Results another ball, another shot off target though. As Murphy will slow down the play and take the corner from the opposite side. The goal kick. I think I said corner. Here's Murphy's goal kick. Almost to the edge of the centre circle in the opposite half. On by White. Waldo. Maclot. Free there. Defended away by Walkinshaw. White once more for the Knights. Waldo towards the penalty spot. Peters waiting there. And Crickmore dived. But the ball shaved to the right of the upright. There's Matt Chandler perhaps pondering making some changes, asking his substitutes to warm up. It's almost the complete opposite of the first half. It's Ipswich Knights is looking a lot more lively in attack. Here's Peter. Exxon Taylor. High and long from Crickmore. Here's clearance. Maclot, was he fouled? Yes, is the referee. Rule to take the free kick. High to the left. Flag's up for offside though. Must have been Robinson who felt guilty of the assistant. Not taken from the right spot, so Crickmore will get another chance. Crickmore finally able to get the free kick away. Peter. Freeman and Waldo. What can he conjure up for his side? Coming to him quickly is Walkinshaw. Waldo across the edge of the penalty area and blasted in from the Knights. Exxon Taylor, James Exxon Taylor. The Knights coaching staff giving their encouragement to the side. So 0-0, 60 minutes gone. To be honest, at the moment I can't see where a goal's going to come from. Perhaps Ipswich Knights the more likely. Held back. The rugby tackle almost was Fuller. Munn will concede the yellow card. Trying to stop the quick advance of the Wanderers getting forward. Experience there of Devon Munn. Been around the Ipswich football scene for a number of years now. And Ticknap's free kick. Waldo will step out the 10 yards. Here comes the free kick. Quacko, as you'd expect, in the thick of the action with his height in the penalty box. Forshey. Square for Verdon and then back to the keeper in Crickmore. Forshey. From Tinknap. Lynch attempted to use his pace. Or Murphy slipped at a vital moment there. Trying to get back to his feet. Lynch. Oh, so close to taking advantage. Don't know if I could call him a mistake. It was just Murphy struggling on the heavy ground. Thankfully for the Knights, it comes to naught. Although it is a corner for the Wanderers. Win in the air by the Knights. Lynch again. For Verdon. Quacko up against Murphy. Flag had already gone up for offside though, although Murphy in a collision there with Quacko. And the physio immediately being brought out onto the pitch. Murphy's all right. Initially on his haunches and now back on his feet, just clutching at the back of the neck. And Matt Chandler will make his first change of the afternoon, and it will be number 11, Jeremy Stewart, coming on, the recent signing for the Wanderers, making his debut for the Sunshine Coast Wanderers this afternoon to take the place of Ben Lynch. So Jeremy Stewart makes his debut in Wanderers colours, joins from the Brisbane Strikers, where he's the fourth leading goal scorer in the NPL last year with 15 goals. Matt Chandler stating through the week that he's keen to use local talent. And Jeremy Stewart fits that bill. News also coming through the week that the Wanderers have released their visa player, Alessandro Giacobi. He just wasn't getting any game time, so it was only fair, Matt Chandler said, for him to try his chances at another club. Same for Jeremy Stewart. The strikers wasn't getting much match time, and the keeper brought into the action again in Murphy from Antiknap's shot. So can Jeremy Stewart use his prowess to try and break this deadlock and score on debut for his new club? And Ticknap's corner, in towards the near post, punched away by Murphy. Secondary effort again here for the Wanderers.
Habits, Nick. Habits, come on.
Coming short is Fuller. And a clear win for Murphy, who launches it long quickly. Waldo. Peter is the man out on the right. Intercepted. He had to be offside there, was Peter. And that's exactly what the assistant found, but there was a foul in the lead-up on a Knights player. So free kick. It was Rule who was infringed against. Quickmore organising his wall. Thanks on Taylor. We'll have this free kick for the Knights. 3 in the wall for the Wanderers. Crickmore's set, waiting the referee's whistle. Here's Exxon Taylor's free kick. Oh, not too far away for the Ipswich Knights, deviating to the left. Coming up to midway through this second half. Still remains 0-0 at Ballinger Park in this FQPL round 9 clash. Wanderers looking to keep their unbeaten streak intact, including their 6th win on the trot should they be successful this afternoon, 4th at home. The Knights looking for their 3rd win of the season and to break a 5-game losing streak.
Good, Jimmy. Next thing.
Corner for the Wanderers. Here comes the corner from Intinknap. Stewart's blazes over the bar. Can't find his debut goal just yet.
Not too deep, John. You'll be high, Leon.
Will be coming along again from Murphy, Forshey and Rule, the contestants in that challenge. Here's Stewart, slides through the feet of the Knights defender. Chase for Tinknap. Straight to Quacko though, the ball from the defender. Knights have it back though. Here's Rule, forward for Watt, who's searching out this ball. Yellow shirt streaming back, and Sam Watt into the trees behind the goal. Kookaburras will scurry away from that point.
Keep moving the ball quick to me. Just get yourself facing forward. We're going to get in, yeah. We'll get one in, yeah. Good, yeah. Come on.
Mick Matthews, Ipswich Knights coach. pacing the technical area.
Come on, compete. Nice on the floor, Jimmy.
Wanderers free kick just inside their attacking half. Taken quickly by Ntegnap.
Good, Jez.
Stewart
Excellent, Jez.
through for Scarf. Forced a little wide. Shot does come through the pack. Murphy able to spot it.
Nice and lock on early. Good, Scarf. So great.
Oh no, the referee said that one was fair from Scarf. Quacko. Not too many complaints from Exxon Taylor. Now there is.
Keep it there, Jim.
The arms outstretched, saying to the referee, how could that not be a free kick?
Hey, 10 there. Joey, 10. 10. Push around the ball. Push around the ball. Come on. Come on. Come on. Well done. That's right foot as well, mate. See that? On the foot. Joey, make the ball put left foot. We hit it in. Movement! Go movement! Go movement! Go on eyebrows!
Stewart. Two defenders to deal with. Free kick going the Knights' way. And there's no way that Peter would be able to take it from that position.
Tyler, who's got the 9? You or Josh? What's happening? Yeah, make sure we mark properly. Push it on to us, Jimmy. Come in, Leon. Done. Oh, players. Compete the players. Compete the players.
Murphy's free kick. Peter held by Arden.
Josh.
Forty with the foot in. Quacko up against Peter. What will the decision be? It'll be a goal kick. As Mick Matthews readies his first change of the afternoon. It'll be Reece Phipps coming on in jersey 19. And in his first match in the FQPL for Ipswich Knights, David Maclock takes his leave. Waldo in search of Peter. His opponent is Arden. Will this deadlock be broken in the final quarter of an hour or so? He had to be offside, Peter, and the assistant agreed. Forshy. Walkinshaw and Quacko. Back stick, Stewart waiting. Searching ball forward for Peter, who looks to be playing up front now, more so for the Knights. Forshy looks up, spots the options in front of him, picks out in Ntegnap. Fuller, ball back once more. Drives one in towards the box. Is it too far for Scarf? Indeed it is. Evades both Quacko and Scarf. Disputed ball on the halfway line. Quarter of an hour to play now. Still the deadlock remains unbroken. Will one of these sides be able to go on and claim all 3 points? As the sun begins to fade away from view here at Ballinger Park. Peter at his feet. Waldo. Did the ball cross the line? No. Good work, I think it was from Marden. Stewart with the touchback. Has crossed the sideline, much to the discontent of the Wanderers supporters. Can't see either coach reading any further changes at this stage. Kookaburra sings once again in this picturesque setting at Buderim in the Sunshine Coast hinterland. Very green, very treey. I think it's Mountain Creek off to our left. Here's the Wanderers. Dwyer. Arden. Walkinshaw. Walkinshaw. Opens up momentarily for the Wanderers. There's a player who's gone down in the box. Referee won't be swayed by the appeals. Scarf. Play will continue despite that player being down in the background. Antic-Nap. And punched away by Murphy. Is it Stewart that's copped that knock? No. Might be Fuller. No, it's not him either. I can spot a 1 in front of the number, but now the referee over to check on the welfare of that player. It was the corner was about to be taken. Matt Chandler will ready a second change. Here comes the corner. Driven high. Coming under pressure was Murphy. The crowded box has the ball. Cross the line there. No. Remarkably, somehow the Wanderers can't come up with the opening goal. It's a desperate scramble inside the 6-yard box. Thought it might have touched the net, but I think it was either the keeper or the defender that got a hand on it onto the net. I just saw it briefly ripple. Meanwhile, this change is being made, and James Verdon will make his exit. And coming off in jersey 7 is Carl Von Hoff. Around about 11 minutes to play, plus stoppages. 0-0 still. Don't see too many scoreless draws in this level of competition. And ball claims not given.
Yeah, we're playing. Stand there off. Stand there off, Scotty. Yes, go on.
Crickmore roll it out. Peter will put the pressure on. Crickmore away. Well, stumbling was the defender in Robinson. Thankfully not costly for the Knights.
Come on, push round and in.
It's end to end at the moment.
And again. Come on, go. Good, Jez.
Those Ipswich Knights numbers becoming increasingly difficult to pick up in the fading light as the artificial light takes over. Dwyer. Entic-Nap. Free for the Wanderers. Scarf. Shot on goal. And Stewart once again trying to conjure something up for his side. Having to bring the best out of Murphy. Slowly warming into his work is the new recruit and the substitute this afternoon, Jeremy Stewart. High from Walkinshaw. Free kick to the Knights. Sam Watt indicating to the Ipswich Knights bench that he's done and dusted, asking for a substitution. Here's the first substitute for the Knights and Phipps. I think Matt Chandler about to make his third and final substitution. Meanwhile, it's Peter in the box for the Knights. Phipps. Handed away by the defender. Watt's still okay at the moment. White. Short for Rule, and White gets it back along the ground for Waldo, who's momentarily inside the penalty area. Waldo again. Rule from downtown, and not the most convincing of shots, slipped over in the end. It's taken a touch off a Wanderers player though. Eight plus stoppages now. Plenty of barking and instructions going on. In towards the near post. And Rule again. Was it Robinson that time? Looks like the skipper's armband. So the change to be made, it'll be Brandon Lee coming on for the Wanderers in jersey 14. He'll come and replace Joel Quacko. And for the Knights, they're also making a change. And it'll be Matt Drummond in jersey 18, replacing Sam Watts. So both the new signings for Ipswich Knights being replaced in the latter stages of this game. Desperation for both sides now to try and claim the full 3 points. Murphy. Forsey with the win for the Wanderers. And Ticknap trying to take the throw in quickly, just halted by Exxon Taylor. Allowed to be taken by Forsey, who came down the line. Makes up for his mistake. And Ticknap. And the attacking third for the Wanderers, who are looking to move quickly. Will be a long throw in into the box. Forsey just waiting for the player who climbed the fence to get the ball to come back onto the field of play in Fuller. Over the bar that time as well. "13 shots at goal for the Wanderers, just 2 on target. 7 at goal for the Ipswich Knights, 2 on target as well. 13 and 7 is 20. 20 shots at goal for both sides. All for nothing so far. Peter to it first. White. Rule. Call of easy coming from Emmanuel Peter's teammates. That's the nickname he goes by, Emmanuel Peter. Easy. Here he is again. South Sudanese. Scarf. Lynch on that, Stewart on that left-hand side. Getting towards the corner of the box. Getting through the path to goal. Won't be that time. 3.5 plus stoppages remaining. Forsey back for his keeper. He's going to come under a bit of pressure. High by Arden. Scarf. Lee. Stewart. Fuller. Fuller inside the box. Cut back. It's taken a deflection. Could have gone anywhere. Stewart it was with the shot at the end. Took a deflection. Murphy would have been beaten. But the deviation enough to steer it off target. Two and a half remaining. No threat that corner. Not one of the best efforts from the Wanderers and in Tinknap this afternoon. Peter, did he keep it in? Looks like he did. Forced by Walkinshaw to clear out for a throw-in. Throwing in towards Peter. 2 Ipswich Knights players go at it. Neither of them come away with the ball though. Fuller. Lee. Into the attacking half is Von Hoff. Forward for Fuller. Was he pushed over? No, said the referee. Murphy in no race to clear. 60 seconds plus stoppages remain. Fancy what, about 3 minutes of stoppage time. There hasn't been any injuries, hasn't been any goals. A few substitutions, that's about all. So maybe might only be 2.5. White. Nick Matthews desperately screaming out instructions on the Ipswich Knights technical bench. Phipps for Peter. Going to turn out all right for Waldo, although good work from Von Hoff to arrive on the scene in time. Murphy. Long clearance. Into the grandstand almost. Kept in on that far side. Decision will go the Knights' way. 45 minutes, 90 minutes completed. Into stoppage time now. In the hands of the referee as to how much time remains in this encounter. Walkingshaw. The Wanderers looking to go forward as quickly as they can. Stewart. Scarf. And Ticknap. Walkingshaw. And Ticknap again. Attempted delivered. The cross in did Walkingshaw. Claims of handball. Fall on deaf ears. In comes the cross. Free man at the back was Stewart. And out for a corner, and Stewart looking to take this corner quickly. Racing over as well is Dwyer. They're deciding whether Stewart should take it quickly. Yeah, he's going to leave it for Dwyer so Stewart can get in towards the box. All bar the keeper and one Wanderer inside the area. Von Hoff, high into the area, punched away by Murphy. Forshy gives it away though. One last chance perhaps for the Knights. Waldo. This would be a famous victory if they can do it. Waldo in towards the spot and cleared away by Lee. 2 minutes of stoppage time about to be completed. Perhaps this is the last play of the match. This time it's all bar one Wanderer inside the defensive box. In comes the corner, not it on! Crickmore had to get down to his right to make the save. Desperate times for both teams here. Some hesitation as to whether the Knights should move it on quickly or just waste a little bit more time. Was there a high foot from Forshy? No, said the referee. They're going to have to go 2/3 of the park to score the Wanderers. Scarf. Stewart on this right-hand side, intercepted. Almost 3 minutes of stoppage time completed. Throwing comes down the line for Stewart. Peter arriving on the scene. Comes back for Fuller. Fuller towards the back stick. Not it on but down into the ground, and Murphy had to have two grabs of it. He'll be in no rush to release it. Scarf is going to have to put on the pressure to make him kick it. Contest. Forshy. Surely there hasn't been that much stoppage time. We're now at 3.5 minutes completed. Lee. It's Ipswich Knights' turn now. Rule. Free man is Peter. Whistle blows not for full time but for offside. Once again, the Wanderers going to have to go 2/3 of the park. Peter is going to block the ball so Crickmore can't take this free kick. Searching ball long. 4 minutes of stoppage time completed now. Surely the referee has to blow his watch very shortly. Arden. Walkingshaw. Was he brought down? No, says the referee. And that is full time. Well, a scoreless draw here at Ballinger Park in this round 9 FQPL encounter. The Wanderers keep their unbeaten streak alive to remain second on the ladder, while Ipswich Knights end a 4-game league losing streak. On the Football Queensland Premier League live stream from the Sunshine Coast, it's Southern Coast Wanderers 0, Ipswich Knights 0. Hope you've enjoyed the coverage this afternoon. Darren Lutton is with you on Tuesday night for the NPL Women's Game from Heath Park between Eastern Suburbs and the Brisbane Roar NTC. More NPL and FQPL action next week, but from the Sunshine Coast, it's Rafe Griffin signing off on behalf of the team. No score between Sunshine Coast Wanderers and the Ipswich Knights.